ladies and gentlemen. First Officer Douglas Richardson here. Just to let you know, we're making our final approach now into what I am fairly sure is Fitton Airfield. Unless it's a farm. Or just possibly the A45. It's not the sea, because that's blue. I should perhaps explain that Captain Creef and I have a sportsmanlike little bet on today about who can fly the best after drinking a litre of vodka through a straw. Captain went first. You may have noticed the takeoff run was a little bumpy, particularly over the golf course. Now it's me to land. Just as soon as I decide which of these two runways to aim for. And I'm happy to tell you that I feel lucky. So on behalf of all your crew today, may I just say, Geronimo! Cabin Pressure by John Fitton.
That was an excerpt from the first episode of Cabin Pressure, one of my favourite radio comedy programmes. This featured Benedict Cumberbatch amongst others, where the captain and the co-pilot would often make up silly games to pass the time. There's a lot of Radio 4 comedy that I love. This includes Just a Minute, Hut 33, which is all about Bletchley Park, and also I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. Now, in a previous episode I talked about puns, and this is a place where I pick up so many. There's so many games and parts to I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. I'd like to share with you some of my favourites. The original chairman was Humphrey Lyttelton, and he used to refer to the imaginary scorer as Samantha. And one show he said, Samantha is off on a dinner date with a gentleman friend from Moscow, who's brought over a variety of caviars and an array of vodka-based aperitifs. She says he is going to offer her delicious food in his hotel room and then liquor out on the balcony. When it came to musical rounds, the chairman would always berate the pianist Colin Sell. For example, one time he said, I am assured that piano accompaniment is required for this round, and it appears that Colin Sell is unexpectedly available to provide it. You know that whenever musicians hear that Colin's working with us, they're always very keen for news of the old maestro. Well, sadly it's failed its MOT again, so he's had to come on his bike. More often than not, there would always be a letter supposedly written in by Mrs. Trellis of North Wales. One of them read, Dear Miss Toxvig, here is one of my favourite cuttings. It's 4 miles of double track just north of Crewe. Yours truly, Mrs. Trellis. Whichever town they were recording in didn't escape the wit of the chairman either. For example, at one point they referred to Crawley. It's often referred to as the Barcelona of West Sussex, mainly by people who've never been to Barcelona, or Crawley, or have never left their own house. The panellists would always be belittled by the chairman. For example, one time Humphrey Lyttelton said, Well, it's time to meet the teams, and I can honestly say that you couldn't ask for 4 better comedians. So that's answered your next question. And the show would wrap up with such wonderful lines as, Well, with Mickey Mouse's big hand pointing upwards and Goofy's tail pointing downwards, I realise my Rolex is a fake. Finally, I'd like to leave you with this. It's an excerpt from one of the earliest radio comedies that I remember listening to from my parents. It's Shelley Berman and an excerpt from his department store sketch.
Hello, Nichols Department Store. All right. Oh, yes, all right, okay, I'll wait. Emergency, hang on there for just a second. This is an emergency, and I'll let you know in just a second. See, here's the thing. You don't know me. I work in the office building right across the street from your store, and I was, the Southwest, and I was just sitting, I was looking out of my window, and I noticed there's a woman hanging from a window ledge on your building about 10 flights up, and she's about, no, operator, you're missing the point. I don't wish to speak to the woman. No, I'd like somebody to go up there and pull her in. Well, I don't care who, how about you? You're over there. What about yourself? I know, well, what time is your coffee break? Well, I don't think she can wait till then. Who knows how long she's been hanging there before I noticed her. I can see her from here, and her knuckles are very white. The woman's been hanging there for hours, obviously, and I'm afraid she'll slip, before your break comes. What? I see. Well, do you think that department could help? Well, all right. Would you connect me, please? Thank you. Hello, complaint department. Say,